So right now I'm actually in Edmonton. I am on my way up to the far, far north, up to Cambridge Bay, Nunavut. I'm staying with some family right now, but in the next few days I'll be going up. And I just thought that I would film a quick video. Something got in my eye and I scratched my eye. And so if you see me excessively blinking, that's why. I feel like it's really irritated. But I wanted to film a video and edit it and then maybe have it uploaded kind of halfway through my field season. And this video is just going to be what my PhD is on, because I feel like you guys really haven't gotten an explanation of what it's about. And it's interesting for me. It's interesting for a lot of other people that are interested in wildlife. So I feel like some of you might be interested in actually knowing what I'm doing. Okay, so first things first, why I'm actually studying in the Arctic. The important thing to remember is the effect of climate change on areas up north. So when you think about climate change, all it means is that the climate is changing from what it has been like over the past many, many years. And in the Arctic, it's like excessively changing. The temperature has changed and warmed around 2 times more than other areas of the globe. So the change in environment is actually a lot faster up in the Arctic versus in anywhere else. And so the area that I'm going to be a specialist in, I guess I shouldn't put this, I'm actually going to be a specialist in it, is vector-borne diseases. So if you don't know what a vector-borne disease is, it is a disease that is transmitted, or a pathogen that's transmitted through vectors. And those vectors are usually arthropods, so insects or ticks, stuff like that. And these ticks are usually feeding off of blood of animals and people, and that's how they transmit all of these pathogens to other animals or to people. So they kind of act as like a truck or a cargo ship where they're carrying this disease and they ferry it to one place or to another. So they ferry it from one host to another. And if you can imagine, when you look outside and you see, the snow going away, if you live somewhere northern, the bugs start coming out, right? So temperature is something that a lot of insects depend on for development. And as temperatures become warmer and warmer, the range that these insects can, establish themselves in gets further and further north. But the problem in the north is that there's so many animals that have had this huge barrier that has kept a lot of diseases outside of the north. And that has been the extreme temperatures, right? A lot of things can't survive that extreme temperature. And so all of these things are moving into the north. But because that barrier has been up for so long, a lot of the animals that are up north can't really cope with all of these diseases. They're what we would call a naive host. They've never been exposed to it. Their immune system doesn't know what to do with it. And so it just starts to run rampant in these places. So the diseases that I'm working on specifically, they're called arboviruses. They're viruses that are carried by arthropods. So hence arbovirus. And they cause a lot of issues in people. If people get it, sometimes they get encephalitis and meningitis. So that's like swelling of the brain and the meninges that's around the brain. And it can be lethal. It's not a good thing. And a lot of wildlife can be affected too. It can decrease the ability for wildlife to reproduce, to have healthy offspring, the mortality rates in wildlife, all sorts of stuff. So I'm working with arboviruses, and then I'm working with bacteria as well up north. So there's something called Francisella tularensis, which if you get it, you get tularemia. the hunters out there that, I don't know if any hunters watch me, but you probably are very familiar with that. So that is a bacteria that causes very, very serious disease, especially if it's not treated. It's a pretty significant thing. So I'm going up north, and I'm going to be testing a lot of wildlife to see if they've been exposed to these diseases, because we don't know if these diseases have made their way up to the north yet. Sometimes, I mean, actually a lot of times, people don't know what's going on up north because it's so remote. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going and sampling foxes, I'm sampling mosquitoes, I'm sampling rodents, so it would be lemmings up there, and I am looking at the geese that are up there as well. Eventually my project will also have caribou in it, so that's really exciting. And I'm looking at all of these animals to see whether or not they've been exposed to these different pathogens, so to these viruses that I'm looking for and to the bacteria that I'm looking for. And if they have been, then we know that it's coming from somewhere. We're going to test the mosquitoes too to see if they're carrying all of these things, and if they are, then we need to figure out if it's become established. When you say that a disease has become established, it means that all of the hosts and the vectors that are required within that region are living their full life cycle and continuously living throughout the years. They've become established. They've made that place their home. So that's what my entire project is on, looking for arboviruses and certain types of bacteria that are carried by vectors up in the north. So right now I'm probably really busy with trapping foxes. I'm live trapping foxes and taking blood samples and checking out their dens and watching for pups coming out. And I'm looking at rodents and maybe doing some banding on geese. It's going to be a really, really cool couple of months. It's going to be something that almost no one experiences in their life, and I feel really honored to be able to experience it, and really honored that I get to share it with you guys as well. So in the next, I don't know, this is probably going to go up in June, I'm guessing. In the next month or so, you should start to expect to see really cool videos of things that not a lot of people get to see. So I will see you guys then, if I don't get mauled by a bear. All right, bye.